What's up, everyone? Today we are going to be drafting Live the Dream Cube, which is new to Magic Online this week. I'm super excited to see Magic Online bring any cube that isn't powered to the platform. Obviously, the default cube for Moto and for most Magic players is just going to be powered Vintage Cube, and I am always excited to draft something new. So this is Live the Dream Cube. I have not drafted it before. I've drafted a number of other cubes designed by David McDarby, the designer of this cube. He is a former Wizards employee. I believe he is now working with the Pokemon trading card game. But he also designed the Chromatic Cube that was on Arena probably about 2 months ago at this point, as well as a handful of other neat things. So excited to give this one a spin. If you've never seen this cube before, the intention here is kind of big, splashy, call it commander style gameplay. There are a lot of really expensive build around enchantments. The aggro deck is intentionally a little bit weaker than normal so that it is easy to live the dream, as it were. I've heard David speak on this cube a couple times on a couple of different platforms, and I know that his intention is for all of the cards in the cube to come with a dream that can be lived. So hopefully we'll come across something interesting in pack 1, and we'll just go for it, see what the cube has to offer here. I suspect that the list is going to be a little bit different from the intended paper list, as often is the case on Magic Online, just because not all of the cards are here. But presumably the soul of the cube will still shine through whatever changes need to be made to support the platform. I believe the cube has been on Magic Online before, so shouldn't be a big problem. All right, let's take a look. So, if you watched my last video, you did see me get bodied by an Ajani Nakatl Pariah deck. Urza is nice and open. I'm super curious about Omnath here. I also think that something like Ephemerate, Counterpoint, like these free 2-for-1s are really good. I think I might lead on Urza. Urza is a 2-for-1 in some sense. It lets you spend your mana to cast your big stuff for free. It's a little bit more open than Omnath in terms of colors. The other stuff I'm looking at is like Ajani is of course a very powerful card. Incubation Druid is a nice ramp spell which helps us cast our big things earlier than our opponent. Vivian is also tempting, just crank out a 3/3 every single turn. I like that Urza gives us a little bit of direction. It has a splashy ceiling. So I'm going to give it a try. Wow, there are a lot of turn spells in this cube apparently. I'm kind of interested here in Ugin the Ineffable, a card that slots nicely into an artifact-based strategy with Urza. It does function as removal, and it also makes 2/2s, creates card advantage. I do think I'm going to be drafting fetch lands over almost anything in this cube. The card quality is just super high all the time. Cards that grind out value turn over turn strike me as very good here. And also cards that are able to interact with your opponent's problem permanents. I think Ugin does all of those things. Hopefully there is kind of an artifact deck that we can play here. Yeah, we have received a number of artifact cards in this pack. Precursor Golem, kind of interesting, but a little on the weak side, I think, for this format. Gilded Lotus can ramp us up into some nuts stuff, but Urza already ramps us a little bit. Jin Gitaxias is going to draw us a bunch of cards when we cast big things, which is also super relevant. I also like that Assimilation Aegis is kind of a 2-for-1. in the sense that it removes something and can turn our creature into a similar thing. I also wonder about just playing Midnight Clock. This is a card that's going to ramp us into our 4s, 5s, and 6s, and it's an artifact, so it's good with what we've got going on here already, and it's also going to stop us from decking if we think our card quality is better than our opponent. Let's give it a try. I've always liked these cheap, relatively speaking, mana rocks in these kinds of formats. Oh, Sword of Wealth and Power, a card I have never cast in any format in my entire life. It specifically synergizes with instants and sorceries, though. It does look like we're getting cut out of blue just a touch. Hard to say this early. I might grab this Sakashima. A clone with ninjutsu is really interesting in this format. We can return our Urza to recoup its enter the battlefield effect. We can even use it to copy our opponent's big creatures. I also think Kaya Intangible Slayer is just crazy in this format. Double white, double black is going to be tough in our double blue spells deck. Let's grab this Sakashima student. See where that goes. We're still pretty open in terms of colors. And it looks like black is the color to be in here, maybe. Necromantic Selection strikes me as very powerful. It's going to wipe the board, and then it's also going to get a creature back. Push-pull, though, potentially a really powerful finisher here. Just grab 2 things out of the graveyard and kill the opponent with them. That's kind of interesting. I also like Threefold Thunderhulk. It goes into our artifact strategy here, and we can kind of ramp into it with Midnight Clock and Ugin. And then Treasure Map will ramp us, draw us some cards, filter our draws. Let's go with Treasure Map here. I think it's going to be easy to find big splashy payoffs and a lot harder to find things to do in the early game. Key to the Vault is interesting. This is going to get us card advantage when we attack. We could move into green here with Oko the Ringleader. I think this card is going to be pretty strong in this format. We can use it for card advantage. It doesn't deal with problem permanence in the same way that the old Oko does, but it does crank out some attackers. Green looking pretty open here. This might be a good time to move in. Let's give it a try. Oh, Cryptic Coat. I do like that card. Second option here being Crystalline Crawler, or we can really go deep and draft Doubling Season. Try to copy our tokens, some of our counters. I really like Cryptic Coat. This card is going to make a bunch of bodies. It's going to be an evasive threat. I think this is exactly the kind of card we want in this format. Okay, this is the newest Jin-Gitaxias. I'm kind of in on Sky Sovereign. I think this card is great. It enters the battlefield and kills something a lot of the time. It's a really powerful finisher. It's also an artifact that can be discounted with Ugin. Kind of slots into all the things we're doing here. I like it. Timeless Lotus and Beacon of Tomorrows came back. Beacon of Tomorrows is definitely a dream. I don't know if it's a dream that we can actually do anything with. Timeless Lotus is honestly just not that good in our deck, though. I want to draft this Beacon of Tomorrows and put it in the sideboard and see if we can ramp a little bit harder and see if we can make this card work. I have a soft spot for this type of card. I mentioned in a different video that Seasons Past is one of my favorite cards, and Beacon of Tomorrows is, it's not exactly Nexus of Fate, but it still is a turn spell that shuffles back in. Kind of sick. I'm going to grab this Ether Channeler. Nice interaction. You can bounce a token, you could draw a card, you can make a blocker, whatever. All kinds of stuff. Cheap blue card. Assimilation, Aegis, and Precursor Golem both came back. I think I am going to take the Golem here. Golem plus Urza is just very spicy. Wow, Kaya is still here. I would have thought this card was very good in this format. I guess I will put it in the sideboard and see. It seems unlikely we ever do anything with that. Let's grab this Restless Fortress. It seems a little more realistic. Kaya Spirit's Justice is back as well. No one wants these black-white cards. I don't think we are doing aristocrat stuff, really, so I'm going to take the Planeswalker. And let's grab Sharp-Eyed Rookie. It's an early drop creature. It can gain us card advantage. I like it. Oh, and the Crystalline Crawler Force Pick. I think we're actually going to play that card. Oh boy. Alright, well, Emrakul the Promised End is definitely a dream. Can we make that work? Oh, I love this card. If we're not here to cast Emrakul the Promised End, what are we even here for? Kinnan is probably the correct pick. It also does some cute stuff similar to Urza here. Like we get to spin Kinnan, and then we can start prioritizing stuff like Signets, which are also good with Urza. Alright. I am going to draft this card, and I'm going to be sad about it, but we'll try Emrakul next time. Prismatic Lens. Exactly what we're looking for here. I also really like Golos in this deck, but I think we have plenty of effects that do basically what Golos does, and it's a lot harder to activate Golos than Urza or Kinnan. Orzhov Signet right in. Yeah, I think these cheap ramp spells are going to be very important for our game plan. And a Golgari Signet. How many Signets do we need to have in our deck before we include Beacon of Tomorrows? That's what I want to know. I like that we have enough mana sinks that we're not usually going to feel bad about top decking a Signet. It's good with stuff like Cryptic Coat, Urza, Kinnan. Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think I am probably going to draft Nissa Ascended Animist here. I think this is exactly the kind of card that's very powerful in this format. It's going to scale, it's going to close the game out, it's going to answer problem permanence. Yeah, I like it. Huh, Chromatic Orrery. That's definitely something. I like C double here. We can make token copies of stuff, we can steal some spells. Games are going to go long, so opponents are going to have 8 cards in their library pretty frequently. Yeah, I'm sold on C double. Oh, wow. Alright, well, pretty hard to pass Uro. I think Whirler Rogue is honestly a pretty close second, but Uro is probably one of the best cards in the cube, and we are already just in Uro colors, so that seems like the obvious choice to me. I don't know if Sakashima's Protege is going to make the cut here. It's pretty cool, but it's not that good, I think. Oh, the Emrakul came back? Alright, now can we play this Emrakul? We've picked up 3 Signets. Yeah, I'm in. I can't pass it. Sakashima is fine, but worse than a lot of the stuff we're already doing. It might actually be better than Sakashima's Student. Scholar of the Lost Trove versus Walking Ballista. I do like the Ballista. It's a bit of a nombo with these cards that can cast stuff for free. But it's good with Ugin, and it's good with our other ramp spells. I think I'm going to grab this card. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to make the main deck. Grab some fixing, just in case. I do think I'm going to swap this Sakashima Student out for Sakashima themselves. Ooh, okay. Hedron Archive. It's pretty good. Can't cast either of these. Bolas is cooler. Might want to play that card. And Invasion of Fiora. There is very little counter magic in this cube. I believe that is a very intentional design choice. It's hard to live your dreams if your opponent is allowed to say no, your dreams are not going to be dreamed. Or lived, for that matter. Shark Typhoon seems very strong. I wonder if we just want Llanowar Elves. Reckoner Bankbuster is also a really good pick here. I think the thing with elves is that the games where we have elves in our opening hand are just going to be super favored for us because the games are so slow. If we're just casting our 4s on 3 and our 5s on 4, that's a huge advantage. Another Signet. I think I'm in on playing every Signet I see. We're trying to ramp into stuff like Emrakul, Nissa, Ugin, and we have Kinnan to make the deal even sweeter. Primeval Titan versus probably Camille the Inner Sun. Neither of these cards are really speaking to me. This one's an artifact. It's probably better than Precursor Golem. I do think I want to play 17 lands in this deck, even if I have 4 Signets and a Llanowar Elves. Just because this would ordinarily be an 18 or maybe even 19 land format. Alright, I'm ready to discover 5. Let's do it. Another clone. There's tons of clones in this format. I think I'm going to play this Ozolith. It's kind of free, like it cycles if we can't cast it, and it makes our things big. Maybe it's not high impact enough for this format. It's kind of interesting. Oh, Kiora seems kind of nuts in our deck. We get to untap our ramp spells, or even just our lands. Yeah, I like this. Ramp spell with more text on it. Karn Liberated. Can we live the dream of Karn Liberated? I think that's pretty sick. I wonder if this card is even good in this format. We're going to find out. Another Karn. Oh, how good is Savor the Moment in this deck? We've got 5 Planeswalkers right now. It does skip our entire untap step. I don't know if any of these cards are going to make it. Prof's Eidetic Memory is pretty powerful. It replaces itself, it makes our stuff bigger. But we don't have a ton of ways to draw additional cards on top of that. I don't know if any of these cards are going to make the cut, really. Karn Scion of Urza is going to go in with our sort of artifact strategy here. I'm still going to sideboard it, though. Ooh, Emery. Huh, are we going to get tricked into companioning Karuga again? I don't think so. Emery is pretty sick here. It fuels our Uro, it fuels our Emrakul. It casts our, let's see, Sky Sovereign, Hedron Archive, Crystalline Crawler. It's not actually that good. We don't have any artifacts that we want to cast over and over again out of our graveyard. But I don't need even more clones. And if I draft this Karuga, I'm going to be tempted to cut all the Signets from my deck, which I do not want to do. Maybe we should just draft this removal spell. Oh, Intrude Upon the Mind and Shark Typhoon came back. That's really surprising to me. I'm going to take the Shark Typhoon. I think that card is very good. Dream Eater is here, and so is Orin Frostfang. I don't know if we're going to be casting either of these cards, but I'd rather have the Dream Eater. Forceful Denial, one of the only counter spells in the cube. Maybe we should be playing that. Bandit seems not that good to me. I think we're going to end up cutting this Oko the Ringleader. It doesn't do that much. Possibly even Treasure Map. We have a ton of things to do on 2 that actually ramp us. We have Karn possibly over Camille. Does restarting the game even work on Moto? I have no idea. What else can we cut here? Probably Ether Channeler. That's just not a very high impact card. I think Midnight Clock is still good here. Our card quality is very high. So that leaves us with one more cut. It could be Sharp-Eyed Rookie. Card is kind of whatever. And we do have a lot of late game now. We probably don't need to be drawing all these extra cards. I wonder if Primal Might is just not actually that good. It only kills creatures. There's a lot of stuff that is not a creature that can still win the game. Okay. Off Primal Might. Now, what do we bring in? Oko? I'm still eyeing that Beacon of Tomorrows. I don't think that it's correct in any universe to put that card in. But boy, is that a dream to live. Let's bring this Karn in, I think. I think that's a little bit better than Oko the Ringleader here. Alright, I like it. Gotta get some basics in here. Moto says 10-7. How does that look? We have no fixing at all, except for the signets. We might have to go up on green sources from here. Good old 9-8. It's been a long time since I've drafted a cube deck with no basic no non-basic lands in it. That's for sure. All right, and there we have it. Blue-green ramp, I guess. Let's Emrakul some people. On the play in match 1. This one looks pretty good to me. Got a ramp spell and some payoffs. I think we're gonna have to play pretty fast in this cube. I wonder if they'll consider increasing the round timer for some of the slower cubes in the future. Growth Spiral seems pretty good in this format. Opponent is already 5 colors with only 3 lands on the battlefield and Thraven Inspector. Alright, here's my Kiora. So hopefully next turn I can make a Nissa. I'll actually draw a card, right? 3-4, make a 4-4, yeah. Scion of Draco, pretty good. Here is the Nissa. Gonna crank that up to 4 and draw a card off of my Kiora. So far, so good. We can kill the Scion if we want next turn. Oh no, this thing just has flying. Okay. Should have killed the Scion first, I guess. I got a little caught up in wanting to draw my card. I am going to block. Grist. Okay, so Grist can make a 1/1. I'm gonna have to kill the 1/1 somehow. I can do that with Sky Sovereign. And then attack the Grist down. That seems pretty good to me. Kill that insect token. And then kill the Grist. Let's see. I can actually untap the Horror because then I can crew the Sky Sovereign and block. There's kind of a neat thing here where if I want to next turn, I can attack with the Sky Sovereign and deal 3 damage to the Scion of Draco and then make the Sakashima into a Sky Sovereign and deal another 3 damage. Selvala Eager Trailblazer. Whenever you cast a creature spell, make a 1/1. And then... oh, okay, it cares about different powers. That's very strange. So that's going to get Trample and Vigilance, because it's green and white. Okay, we drew Uro. That's pretty powerful. I think what I want to do is cast the Uro, and then in response to the trigger, crew the Sky Sovereign with it. It seems pretty good. I am going to use 2 green to do that in case I draw into the Sakashima land. So let's activate... oh, I have to place the triggers first. So let's put this one on the bottom, and then we want this one. We want to draw the card before we can put a land down. Forceful Denial. Then we'll draw the card and see if we hit a land. We did hit a land. And then we are going to crew in response to this. And then what we can do here is play a forest, cast a Sakashima. This is not going to come in as a creature, but it is going to deal 3 damage. No, let's not do that yet. Let's actually attack first. And then... we actually might not even need to Sakashima here. We could attack with both. Yeah. We put the 3 damage on the 4/5. They do want to block here. They don't want to block. They went to 8. So I'm thinking I actually just untap a land and hold up counter magic here. They fetched for a Rafine's Tower. Alright, they're probably going to kill my Kiora here, but that is fine. She has done her job, that's for sure. Let's see something scary. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Probably willing to point this at anything since it cascades. Yeah, I'll cast this Hedron Archive, that's fine. Soul Herder. So that's going to untap the Scion of Draco, I suppose. So I can create the Sky Sovereign, shoot the Soul Herder, force the block. Oh, the Soul Herder actually has hexproof from the Scion. Okay, that's interesting. Crystalline Crawler. So I can put 2 counters on this. I could also use Sakashima to make something else. I could make the Urza, crew the Sky Sovereign, attack with... I could attack with both of my creatures and shoot the Selvala. And then maybe second main phase Sakashima to finish off the Scion. Or rather the Soul Herder if they block with the Scion, which they kind of have to. Okay, let's do it like that. I feel pretty good about that line. Oh, we're going to be out of blue mana if we do that. No, because we have the creature. We have the Karnstruct. We could also just crank out Karnstructs with Soul Herder plus we could Sakashima the Soul Herder. Let's crew this. Oh, we gotta crew it with the Horror if we want to tap the Construct for mana, but I think that's fine. I'm gonna attack with this. I guess we'll shoot a Mercenary. Because shooting the Selvala doesn't make any sense anymore without being able to attack with the Phyrexian Horror. They went to 1. Is there anything I can do to kill them here? I don't think so. We can Sakashima their Soul Herder. Yeah, I think that's best. So we will tap this Construct. We'll pay 2 and a blue. We'll Sakashima this. And then we'll target Urza. Yield to this. Why is this triggered? Oh, opponents is triggering. Okay. I forgot that they both trigger whenever anybody exiles anything. I could have flickered the Sky Sovereign. Okay, they're done. I think the 4/4 is a little bit better than killing the Mercenary. Alright, I think I've decided that this Crawler kind of sucks. After having actually seen it in my hand here. We could bring Treasure Map back in, or we could bring Oko back in. Let's go with Oko. Alright, we're going to be on the draw this time. We've got Ramp Spell, Nissa. It worked for us last time, even though we totally punted the Nissa right into our graveyard. It's Karn. One day we might cast Karn. Alrighty. Oh, I still have this stop in my upkeep from, I don't know, some other video. Here is my Signet. Huge upside on Signets compared to Talismans, which is that it doesn't give you priority all the time because you can't activate them. You gotta get that clock equity. Alright, Proft is here. You investigate, and then you get to do Sphinx's Revelation. Sure. I don't have another 2 here. I think I'd like to probably draw a card. Right, because this comes in with 5 loyalty. So they'll knock it down to 3. We got Forest Golgari Signet. They gave me Forest. Goodbye D-Spark. Or goodbye Karn, killed by D-Spark. And the Scion of Draco is back. This time I'm going to remember to just kill it with my Nissa. But maybe not this turn, because then she immediately dies to Alquist Proft. I think I'm going to play my island and just pass the turn here. I'm going to end up taking 7, unless they decide to cast something pre-combat and I flip a blocker. Like that, for example. Okay, we got to pay the Signet with this. There we go. Cascade Trigger hits Prismatic Lens, gonna cast that. And now our Nissa is absolutely enormous. We're gonna take down to 10. We're gonna get the full 7 loyalty out of Nissa here, killing the Scion, and then hopefully just ending the game from there. It paid the... Oh, I only have 3 green sources. Okay. So I do still have to... So she'll go to 1. And then I'll be able to Karn from there, depending on what they've got. Activating Alquist seems difficult in a 5-color deck. Oh, baby. Hexproof from multicolored. Well, guess what can exile that? Karn Liberated. No colors at all on that card. So this is going to be create a blocker for Alquist. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can't Midnight Clock plus Karn Liberated. But we'll just slam it onto the battlefield here. Get this right out of here. And say go. Easy chump block with the 2/2. They can turn on the Restless Prairie and get one of my walkers, but it's going to cost their entire turn, and I'll just probably keep the... Well, oh, okay, they don't want to activate the Prairie. They also tap themselves out of black, so it's going to be hard for them to just point a removal spell at a walker here. I am just going to block. Carnage Interpreter. That's a pretty funny counter to Karn Liberated. I could just exile it and lose my Karn. It's got Menace, so that's going to be tough. We can't cast Uro twice here, but we can block with Llanowar Elves. So we get to make 2 blockers. I wonder if we're just supposed to get rid of that Carnage Interpreter, because it's going to kill the Karn anyway. Let's start off with Uro and see what we draw. We drew C double. Okay, I'm just gonna take the Interpreter. Goodbye, Karn. Make our 3/3 this time. Make a Midnight Clock. And make a Llanowar Elves. They do get to draw a bunch of cards, but hopefully having to pay 2 mana for each one of them is going to put them back enough on tempo that we can close the game out with horror tokens. I guess we'll see. Oh, this card. This card is always such a blowout. Alright, now I'm pretty far behind. Hopefully I can get them with C double. They do have 8 cards in their graveyard right now. Ooh, Oko is also a pretty good draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can cast both of these cards actually. Draw 2, discard 2. I can also just make a 3/3. I think I'm just going to make some 3/3s. We have to do this like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, here's Oko. I am going to probably just attack. Up to 1. Get in for 3 here. Gonna make an Elk, and then I'm gonna plan to probably copy Elquist because it draws a card, and then copy whatever they cast. They are ready to start activating the Elquist, which is terrifying. Hopefully they cast a removal spell of some kind. They're just gonna say go. That's reasonable. They're ready to draw a whole bunch of cards on my end step. Do I want to put the Shark Typhoon onto the battlefield here? That's pretty interesting. I don't think so. I should have made an Elk first in case they blocked. I guess if they trade their Proft with my Oko, I'm not even feeling that bad about it. They want to take 9 down to 6. Oh, I can't activate this at all now. It doesn't become a copy. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I haven't played with this card before. So they're going to draw, what, 4 cards? Is that how this works? Yeah. No, 5 cards. 2, 3, 5. Okay, so we just need to out-tempo whatever it is they draw in these 5 cards with C-double, which is definitely not going to be impossible. I wish I had another 3-3. That would make it easier. General Ferris Rockerick. Do we think they're going to have another multicolored spell? I'm going to let this one resolve. Soul Herder. Okay, I'm going to resolve this trigger. And then I'm going to make a 4/4. Target spell and target creature. And now Grist is here. Yeah, it turns out drawing 5 cards is pretty good. They still have no flyers, though. I'm thinking about just end-stepping this Shark Typhoon and trying to kill them. I can make Oko into, what, a 2/2 flyer? This would be a sick time to draw Emrakul the Promised End, that's for sure. Minusing the Grist. Did they not sack anything? Oh, interesting. I think they messed it up. It looks like they minused the Grist and then didn't sack anything. They get to make another thing. I've drawn Sakashima the Imposter. I think we're falling behind here for sure. Just so many clues with this Alquist. Alright, we drew Island for turn, which is not what we wanted to see. We could make an Uro. And then we could turn Oko into an Uro and attack with Uro. That's kind of good. Let's give that a try. They're going to trade it with a 4/4. But we get to draw a card, put a land in. Oh, but it doesn't... Yeah, it doesn't keep the name or anything like that. So we would have to sacrifice one of them to the legend rule. We could make the flyer and attack for 4 in the air. This is kind of tough. I think we need to find more cards. I don't know how we ever win this game if we don't find Emrakul. So I am going to try and draw the card here. And I'm going to try to... There's not really a good way to preserve any types here. We're just going to keep like a Planeswalker, I guess. No, we should keep an enchantment instead because we are about to lose a Planeswalker. Put a land in. I'm gonna make an elk. And then we're gonna go to combat. We're going to make this into an Uro. We're going to keep the one that has no summoning sickness. And now, if we swing out, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. They're going to eat a bunch of our creatures. They take 2 guaranteed. Okay, I don't think the full swing makes much sense. I am going to attack with the 4/4 and the shark and the Uro. And I'm going to go for their face here. Maybe I should point the shark at the grist, actually. Okay, just to make sure it dies. I'm going to draw another card. It's Hedron Archive. Oh boy. And we have nothing super meaningful to flicker here. We can make an Alquist and then flicker it, I guess. So they do want to trade the Uro with a 4/4, as anticipated. We'll go 4 and 2. And then we'll cast this. All right, whatever clock activity I was talking about on the signets, I have definitely lost by having to activate them twice every time. And then here, we're just going to have to make an Alquist Proft, I think. And then we'll target Sakashima and make another one. Jeez, okay, click on this. There we go. Triggered abilities onto the stack, whatever. That is a lot of mana. Something terrible is about to happen to me. Oh. Another land. All right, she's in here somewhere. Currently they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 card draws worth of Alquist activation. So we're actually kind of close to just Emrakuling them, drawing 7 cards, and then killing them. Kinnan. Interesting. Kinnan puts creatures onto the battlefield but does not cast them. I still get to attack for 2 in the air. I'll say go. Yeah, I'll make another one of these. This is so much clicking. Emrakul is also just lethal by a lot right now, regardless of the trigger. So if I do hit her end step, can I activate this twice? I think I can. One, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I have exactly 2 activations. So let's see what we can do here. There she is. All right, here's my giant Flampler. Can you beat that? Bang. Whew. All right. With just 5 minutes to spare, I would not have been able to pull that out if it went to a game 3. So, yeah, I do think that this cube probably warrants a longer match clock than normal. Something to think about. GG's. All right, I went ahead and made that Oko 4 Crystalline Crawler swap. So let's head into match 2. All right, we're on the play. Kiora is a ramp spell. We got no blue sources. Can we find a blue source before turn 4? Probably. But we have this double blue spell that we can only cast at instant speed that Kiora doesn't help us with. I think this hand is kind of bad. I'm going to mulligan. This hand is a little bit better. Going to keep the second green source over the second blue source, I think. Karn is going to help us find lands for these 6 drops. Delighted Halfling. Wow, that card seems nuts in this format. I'm really glad we have that Llanowar Elves. I honestly felt like we lost the game as soon as my opponent put that Delighted Halfling onto the battlefield. We did find a 3-drop, but we did not find a 4th land, so we'll have to see how it pans out here. We are winning the race right now. We probably won't be for much longer. Noble's Purse seems really good in this format. Probably the best 2-mana ramp spell. Because you can you can make the treasure, but you don't have to sacrifice it. So you can cast something really big. Plus it kind of taps for any color. On the other hand, most of the games in this cube are really long. So maybe the fact that you can only make mana with it 3 times is meaningful. Hard to say. They're just passing. Okay, we found Llanowar Elves. So I'm going to cast that. And I think the swing is good here. I'm going to crack in for 3. This is an Oko, by the way. We can't flip it. It's not a creature. And then I think end step we're going to return that Cryptic Coat. Try to keep making bodies with it. Missing that land drop is pretty bad for us. But so far opponent is mono green, which makes me feel good about this endless stream of planeswalkers we're about to make. They've got 6 mana over here. I don't know what they're up to. Are they just missing a color? They've got treasure tokens, though. Weird. Alright, well, let's start off on the Nissa since we did find the land. We can attack with our Disguise guy. Although, we run the risk of having our Llanowar Hills removed and then not being able to cast our spell. Why did it do that? There we go. Oh, they do have blue spells. Bummer. They have the Cascade thing. Oh, Spell Swindle. That's crazy. Because the thing still has mana value 7. Well, I'm still going to attack in. I don't know if we're going to be able to win this game now. If we draw another land, we can still destroy whatever they do with our Ugin. If they spend all of their treasures on one big thing. But if that thing gets them any card advantage, we might be in pretty bad shape. And it's also predicated on us drawing a land. If we do draw running lands here, though, I think we're kind of in business. It really depends on what our opponent is about to make here. Okay, that's pretty good, but it's not the end of the world. They have a second thing, though. Oh, they have their own Nissa. I don't think we're winning this game. They made an 8/8, so even if we do draw our land, which we didn't do, instead we drew a card we cannot cast at all. I think we have to make the coat because the coat can be an unblockable thing that picks off planeswalkers. This is very bad, but it's what we've got. Oh, they ulted it. Okay, that just kills me, right? Yeah. Okay. What do we do about this? They have the same deck as me, basically. Blue, green, good cards. Do we want to play more clones? Clone their good cards? I honestly have no idea. They showed us a bunch of tokens. We could bring the Ether Channeler back in. I'm starting to think that Beacon of Tomorrows is good because it stops you from decking yourself. Both players got down to fewer than 10 cards in library in the last game that we played. In the first match, that is. But that might not be relevant in this kind of matchup. I am going to bring the Channeler in, I think. What do we bring out? Probably just Sakashima. I did just say that that kind of card was maybe good in this matchup, but they showed us a bunch of Planeswalkers. I don't know. I'm going to take the play. This hand looks good to me. It's going to be a turn 2 Kinnan, a turn 3, probably Uro, maybe Midnight Clock. We did draw the land, so I think Uro is going to be better than Midnight Clock, probably. Although Midnight Clock does make an extra mana off of Kinnan, so maybe that's better. Midnight Clock basically taps for 2 right here. It is actually just the mirror match. That's pretty funny. Oh my god. We have exactly the same board state. Oh no, they have another thing. How am I going to beat that? That is very funny. They're ready to attack in at this point. I am not going to block. We're going to trigger both of our Midnight Clocks. Maybe I should have traded with that Kinnan. They're about to activate it. Oh, but now I have this. This is too funny. Wait, I can't do that like that. Do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. I can't use this mana for anything. Yeah. All right, let's see what terrifying thing you make. Whatever it is, I can copy it. I guess only if it's a creature, but yeah, only creatures come out of this. So as long as it is not exactly Grist, I'm good to go. Looks like they're going to activate main phase, or they have a different 7-drop. It could be Nissa. Pest Infestation, kill all my stuff. Bummer. I drew Emrakul. I have 2 card types, so Emrakul currently costs 11 mana. So I guess I'm just going to pass the turn and hope to C-double them. Fanatic of Ronus does not seem worth copying to me. Oh, this is an island, yeah. Urza. Well, that's pretty good. That gets me into Kinnan range. The token is tiny, but it does tap for 2 mana. I think. Does that actually work? Because it doesn't... Does that count as tapping at 4 mana? I actually have no idea. It's not an ability of the construct token. They're going to put 2 counters on the Midnight Clock. I kind of feel like if we both draw 7 cards... Oh no, this one is one-sided. Never mind. They do not have a ferocious creature. there is the Nissa. I believe I am 1 mana short on this. C double. Yeah. Tamiyo, pretty sweet. Well, at least I'm getting destroyed by a deck that looks exactly like mine. Makes me feel good about my drafting choices. I'm gonna test this out here, just to see. Yeah, see, that only makes 1 mana. That's interesting. Forceful Denial. Well, that's maybe something. We're still really not in good shape. But we have multiple interaction spells. We can block with this Cloak creature in order to put another card type into our graveyard. We've got 6 mana right now. Historically, we've been very good at hitting mana rocks with Forceful Denial, so that might represent another mana or 2. It's another card type as well as potentially a ramp spell. Okay, that's fine. I am going to go ahead and block with my land here. Get another card type down. And let's see spell. Teferi. Do we want to counter this, or do we want to copy it? I think we kind of have to counter it. We can't kill it. And if we both have a Teferi, I'm going to lose. Ramp spell. So that represents 2 additional mana. We have 2 additional card types in our graveyard because we're about to put an instant. So we have 4 card types, bringing Emrakul down to 9 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 1 short. We have to draw a land. We drew a land. Okay. It's time to Emrakul my opponent after they just drew 7 cards. They want to draw another card. Fascinating. I have no idea how this is going to work on Magic Online. Is it going to swap our seats? What am I about to see here? All right, no attacks. Oh, geez. Okay, we are in opponent's main phase. We can cast Garruk Relentless and use it to kill a creature. We can use Nissa to destroy the Iron Crag. Oh man, this is wild. Teferi doesn't seem good to commit. Jin Gataxias. No, that we don't want to do. Okay, let's start by floating this mana. And what if we just second main phase ult the Nissa, killing it? Okay, that seems pretty good. So we can slam our... Yeah, let's go to combat. We're going to attack with this into the Emrakul. We can actually attack with this into the Kinnan, I think. And then we attack this into the Urza, and we attack this into the Emrakul. Yes. Okay. I'm going to block like this, I'm going to block like this, and I'm going to block like this. Place this triggered ability onto the stack. And then post-combat, I'm going to -7 the Nissa. And I can't -3 the Tamiyo. I could play the Garruk Relentless and just slam it into something. I guess I can kill a pest with it. Oh, I get to discard. That's awesome. I'm going to discard to Fairy. Okay. I think that was a pretty good turn for me. So what are they going to do? They're going to cast the... They can't cast the Jin-Gitaxias. Oh yes, they can, because they have the Fanatic of Ronus. The Kefnet doesn't seem that good here. Cryptic Coat is fine, I guess. Looks like they're going with Jin. So this copies their instants and sorceries, and it counters my spells. Here's the coat. They get 2 coats. But I'm at 21. They have no flying blockers. They do have the Kefnet. And I can't counter the Kefnet because of the Jin-Gitaxias. They get to gain 2 life here. Oko. Oko can become an Emrakul, but that doesn't matter much. Let's see. This is going to shrink my things when I attack with them. This does not counter Planeswalker spells. This is tough. I don't think that attacking the Tamiyo makes very much sense here. They don't have anything to get with it. So I'll go face with the Emrakul first. And then we can just make a 3/3, I guess. See if we can get them to kill the Oko. This is going to put them down to 8, which means that I still have them... No, I'm going to have them at 1. Through the Kefnet. The Kefnet has 5 toughness. And this will become a 12/13 if they plus the Tamiyo again. Maybe I should just try and get rid of this C double since it doesn't really do anything here. Yeah, okay. I can Nissa next turn. Okay. Oko's gonna die, but that's fine. It's like mostly a distraction, I think. I guess if there are scary things under these cloaks, I could be dead. Okay, they are attacking me with everything, which means I have to block, probably. I can get the extra point of damage through with Nissa if... No, because I can't cast her for her full cost without having enough forests, no matter how much mana I do have. So I think what I'm going to do here is block this here. And, I mean, they're probably not going to have 14 damage underneath the cloaks, I think. Okay, there's the Kefnet. I have to find one more damage somewhere. Or a removal spell for the Kefnet, such as Karn Liberated. Alright, they could still have Spell Swindle. If they do, I lose. Wow, that sucks. Oh, it's a different one. Okay. I will put this on the bottom of my library, I guess. So they're going to go to exactly 1, and they're going to have me dead on the backswing. Yeah. I think that's it. I can make Oko into an Emrakul, but that doesn't matter. I can make it into an Urza, but that also doesn't matter. I guess that's it. I don't know what they could possibly mess up that would cause them to just take 1 damage somehow, but I guess we'll make sure they don't accidentally crack a fetch. Alright, you got it, opponent. GG's. Really tight one. Three for 3 on die rolls, I think. Take the play. Here's our turn 1 Llanowar Elves hand. Love to see it. Gonna keep it. Llanowar Elves and Sego. Alright, currency converter and is it Signet? We don't have a really good 4 here. What is this? C double, yeah. Okay. We could also just play Sakashima as a 3-1 and kind of go to town. Or we could plan on bouncing the Cryptic Coat and recasting it. Yeah, let's just crack in for 4 here. And then we can bounce the coat. Restless Vents from opponent. And main phase activate the converter, it looks like. That is fine by me. Restless Vents plus Currency Converter is kind of a combo. What on earth is this? This is one of those Walmart only cards or whatever. Like Legolas's Quick Reflexes. Wow, that is a terrifying card. I hope they don't have any way of cheating that out of their graveyard. Gonna bounce that coat and see what we've got. A Signet, cool. That is gonna allow us to Signet and coat. So let's crack in for 3. And there we go. This time we hit Kinnan. Turning Kinnan over is actually mana neutral in this spot. It's pretty cool. We can Ugin next turn. That's probably going to be useful. And then after that we will be able to Karn. Looks like my opponent has disconnected here. They've been running the clock down for probably about 3-4 minutes. And now they're back. So hopefully we do get to keep playing this game. Okay, they made a rogue. They put that Call Forth the Tempest into their graveyard. If they do something like Mizzix's Mastery here, then that's going to be very bad. There it is. Alright, pretty sweet. It's going to kill all my stuff. It's going to turn me off of Ugin, and they are also going to Cascade twice. Crabomination is an insane hit. And Sakashima for a second Crabomination. Oh no, sorry, they Crabominationed my Sakashima. Yeah, okay. I'm just completely dead, probably. Oh my god. Alright, that might have been the best Call Forth the Tempest anyone has ever cast. It doesn't matter what I sacrifice here because all my stuff is going to die. And now I am just completely out of this game. Well, I was looking forward to casting that Ugin, but now my opponent has it. Yeah, I don't know how I could possibly win at this point. Certainly not Forest. I'm going to be taking 12 here. 14 if they decide to activate the Restless Vents. I did say I was hoping to be able to play the rest of this game, which it doesn't look like is actually going to happen. Yeah, I'll take 12. I'll go to 3. And yeah, I just have Stone Cold Nothing in my deck that does anything about this, I believe. And another land. That's all I got. Well, that was really sick. I wish I was the one doing that instead of my opponent, but sick nonetheless. I am just going to run this back, I think. And I'll take the play. Signet into Ursa is good enough for me. They've got a signet of their own. And yeah, this is just going to be Urza here. And that's all I got. Next turn we can Sky Sovereign them. Alright, Urza down. Currency converter is back. So what do I want to do here? I think I'm still going to play the Sky Sovereign. Maybe not. If I play the Midnight Clock, I can't hold up the C double. Maybe I'll play the Midnight Clock and attack for 3. We can end step put another counter on the clock, which is pretty good. I would like to always yield to this. Five mana over there for Gilded Lotus. Pretty good. Looks like I'm going to want to hold up this C double for next turn. I've got access to 7 mana here. So yeah, I'm just going to crack in for 3 and hope to copy whatever crazy nonsense they do over there. Unfortunately, if it is Cruel Ultimatum, I kind of lose out by putting mine on the stack on top of theirs. They're pitching Restless Fence this time. Do they have enough mana to just cast that thing, the Cascade spell? If I copy it, I don't get the Cascade. That is not how copying a spell works. If they do that, I will be in trouble. I guess I can copy something that... Yeah, well, I kind of have to use it on this. Because if I don't, it just counters my thing. Two Sky Sovereigns actually kills the Jin Gataxias. Oh no, because theirs counters one of mine. Wow, this is really funny. Okay, Ugin the Ineffable just kills their Jin Gataxias. That seems pretty good to me. Now I have a Jin, and they have no Jin. Love to see it. Oh, they've got something. No, they're just activating currency converter. All right, they've got 2 lands under there. Seven counters on my clock at this point. So their first spell is going to get countered. And nothing. All right, cool. Let's start with activate. And yeah, we're just gonna swing. They need 2 removal spells here, because the first one is countered. I guess they could have a flash blocker, as long as it's not an artifact. They could also discard a non-land spell and then make a rogue with the currency converter. Cycle Shark Typhoon is pretty sweet. Now they get to do both, actually. So this is x equals... Oh, it doesn't tell me. I have to look over here. X... No, it doesn't tell me anywhere what x is. Okay, I guess we're about to find out. X is 7. So they're presumably going to block my Djinn. And then I can shoot down the shark with Sky Sovereign. Makes sense to me. Post-combat main, I will cast this. It will be discounted thanks to Ugin over here. Bang. So I will be getting 7 cards on my next turn. Activate Converter again here. They must be flooding really badly over there. Or on the other hand, just discarding lands is probably good in the late game as opposed to making those 2/2s. Hard to say. Sometimes 2/2s are irrelevant, but most spells are more relevant than a 2/2 with no text. They are headed to combat, and I'm going to activate this twice in their end step. That'll put it up to 11. And then in my upkeep, I will get the 12th. They've got something in response. Magma Opus. Killing my Ugin, killing the island, and tapping Sky Sovereign and Construct. Yeah, that's fine. They get their 4/4. I'm going to put that island into my hand. It's going to get shuffled away, but that doesn't matter because it's an island. Oh, I should have floated a blue. Okay, so here I am in my main. I can go... I definitely want to play an island. If I lead off with Kinnan, I get 1 mana back on Orzhov Signet. I have a total of 8 mana here. 4 islands... No, sorry, 9 mana. So if I go down to 7, that brings me back up to 8 because of the Signet. And then I can Kiora down to 5. Untap the Signet up to 7. And then I can Urza plus Uro. Okay, deal. I will just dump my entire hand out. And get totally got by Tempest whatever. Maybe I should be holding up something instead. Like if I hold up Sea Double instead of whatever the worst spell out of all those things is. Yeah, add a white. Going to cast Kiora. And then if I spend 2 mana on Uro and play a land out, I can untap a land and hold up C double. Okay, that's fine with me. Going to draw a card with Kiora. I'm going to draw another card with Uro, gain 3 life, putting a land into play. I can even cast Selesnya Signet. No, I can't do that. Let's see. If I untap Orzhov Signet, that doesn't really matter. I can use it to cast Selesnya Signet, but then I don't have the mana up for my counterspell. So I will just untap Forest. And say go. Opponent only has 4 cards in their graveyard, so I'm pretty far away from getting the actual C double, the double C double, as it were. We're converting. Flotsam. That's fine. Oh, they milled the call forth. Okay. Now I no longer have to live in fear. Discovery, also fine. They're digging for something. They still have that Mizzix's Mastery in their deck. And just, no, they have 7 mana here. Looks like maybe they found it. No, they're tapping way more than that. Oh, they're overloading it. Oh no. Okay, well, those cards go onto the stack, and then I have to choose the best one to copy and when. I can mill them with Jetsam, and then I get to cast something out of their graveyard, like that Cascade spell maybe. If I let them cast the Cascade spell and then I copy the Jetsam, then I get to also cast the Cascade spell, and I might be able to get them. Okay, Cruel Ultimatum is fine. I will sacrifice a creature. I will discard some cards that are not C double. They hit Noble's Purse. That's going to kill my 3/3. Drown in Ichor is going to fizzle. Magma Opus is going to... Okay, so this is the point where I have to cast this. Copying Jetsam. Oh no, it exiles their thing. Okay, so let's see. What does this do? Outlaws. I need to mill them for 6 more somehow. So this exiles the top card of their library because I have an outlaw. This domes them for 5 and returns a creature card from my graveyard to my hand. Does that matter? What is the best way for me to mill them? It must be Jasper, right? Okay, we're taking Jasper, I think. What if drawing 3 cards is just better? This draws 1 card and it brings them closer to losing. Oh, no. I can't take the Jasper. Oh, I can take the Jasper because this bounces my Sky Shroud. I think I'm going to draw 3 cards instead. Target opponent. I get to attack them with Sky Sovereign next turn. They have 6 cards left. They discard a bunch of stuff. What did they discard? What is this? Rionia Fire Dancer. Oh, well, that's also terrifying. I'm going to return Sakashima. No, if I return Kinnan, I might be able to put an Emrakul onto the battlefield, though. Activating Kinnan seems good. Activating Urza is about that good. Let's take Sakashima. We drew Llanowar Elves Forceful Denial. They're going to put a bunch of cards under here. They're going to tap my stuff, make a 4/4. They get to cast, I don't know, Kinnan, I guess? I guess I'm going to mill as well. They're down to 4 cards in library. Oko. Discard Elves, I think. It's just worse than Forest right now. What a game. So I can kill the Oko, or I could just kill the Elk, because they can't really plus the Oko, or they just lose. If I Sky Sovereign to kill the Elk, and then I just hold up counter magic, I'm probably good to go. Next turn I can probably just make an Uro. They don't have that many cards left, like in total at all, hand and library. Countering one of them is going to be very meaningful. Kiora is going to die here. Unless they cast something pre-combat and I cascade into something relevant. What do they have left? Is there anything I saw in game 1 that they haven't done yet? Oh yeah, Crab Abomination. Well, get that out of here, that's for sure. Hedron Archive. We only ever hit Mana Rocks with Forceful Denial in all of our games. But next turn we can Urza and just spin and try and hit Emrakul, I guess? I don't know. We can also Uro. Oh, we saw the Jin Gataxias last game. That doesn't seem to matter that much on this board state. We can even make our own if we want. They get another Elk. Oh, they can make Oko into a 4/4. Yeah, that's cool. I'm hoping there's an Emrakul involved in this, because then I can just plus Oko and they just die, which is very cool. So they're going to 4 me, kill the Kiora. That's fine. Lockthwain's Scorn. What's their target? They're gaining life? Why did they do that? Oh, so that I don't kill them with Sky Sovereign. Sure. Ugin. Ugin kills Jin-Gataxias. Sakashima becomes a Jin-Gataxias first. Crews the Sky Sovereign. Yeah, that's pretty good. Mika Jin, cast an Ugin. Destroy this. Crew this. Go to combat. Attack you. Does that even matter? Maybe we should just... Well, the Ugin's dead either way. We might as well have them dead with combat as well. And we're going to kill the elk here. They don't have the virtue. I mean, the virtue's in exile. But they're not going to have the chance to do anything with it, I don't think, if they spend their whole turn casting that. Oh, I could have made the 2 coats. Whoops. I think that's unlikely to matter here, but not impossible. I want to draw a card. That's probably bad for me. That means there's something good in there somewhere. Where did they get that clue from? Typhoon. Mastery, call forth. Where did that clue come from? Oh, Flotsam makes a clue. Yeah, look at that. All right, that means it's 1-1. So, let's see. Do we actually want the beacon? The beacon is really dangerous because they have ways of casting our spells. And I also think that they're going to deck themselves faster than we are. So that doesn't seem that good. Yeah. Just going to play it like this again. Going to be on the draw. They also only have 5 minutes. Wow. Normally, I would be really jazzed about the turn 1 Land War Elves, but this is not going to do it. This is fine. Going to keep that. Let's see. We're missing double blue. We just have to put the Karn away. Yeah. Unfortunate, but true. Looks like we might not end up getting to live the dream of restarting the game. Converter again. They are really good at drawing that card. And I'm really good at drawing Sky Sovereign Console Flagship. Alright, show me Island. Oh, it's Laughing Jasper. Terrifying. Okay, there's Emrakul. It is a good thing that they are not going to be able to cast that. Next turn I can Sky Sovereign and kill their 4-3. There's the island. I am going to commit this. Kill that thing. What did they actually exile for me? Oh, forest. Okay. They get to draw a card and then discard a card. If they do something cool, I can Sakashima it. If they don't, I can hold up C-double. C-double is a really cool stand-in for counter magic in a format like this, where you get to still have stack interaction, but you don't get to stop your opponent from doing their cool thing. I think that's a pretty good innovation for a cube that's designed like this. Here goes Cruel Ultimatum. Scary. Okay, they did not do anything cool. Sorry, opponent. Your thing wasn't cool. Gonna cast the Signet and say go. This way, if they do ultimatum me with their Mizzix's Mastery, I get to copy it. Looks like they're going for it, probably. Discovery. Okay, they don't have it yet. If we draw a land, we can cast Sakashima. And no, we don't have enough blue sources to do both of those things. So I'd rather draw something that crews Sky Sovereign. That does not really crew Sky Sovereign. It does ramp us closer to Emrakul though. Say go. They kept both of their cards on top with Discovery. That's a little scary. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana right now. 5 away from Emrakul. Crabomination. Yeah, I'm going to copy that spell. Copy target spell. If they get to cast my Emrakul, that is very, very, very bad. Although my hand doesn't do that much right now. Let's see what they've got. Jin Gataxius. Sure, I'll take that. That is a lot worse than Emrakul. Come on. Okay. They get my Sakashima. Oh no, because they can just Sakashima the Crabomination, and they're guaranteed my Emrakul anyway. Okay. My only saving grace here is that they have very little time left on their clock, and resolving Emrakul is not fast. So unfortunate that that's probably how this match is going to end, but... Oh, they wanted a Jin. Okay, alright. I mean, that makes sense. They don't know the last card in my hand is Emrakul. Drew Golgari Signet. So let's see. This is actually kind of cool, because I'm going to not only get to ramp with the Golgari Signet, but I'm also going to put an artifact into my graveyard. Let's go ahead and just do that right now. So now this thing costs 12, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's crew this with the Jin. And I am going to attack with just the Sky Sovereign, I think. And that is all I've got. Is this the Mystics' Mastery? That would be pretty sweet. Okay. So they're going to double it. They only get the one because I counter the one of them. I'm going to sack my Llanowar Elves. I'm going to discard my Emrakul. I'm going to be a little sad about it. They can attack with the crab. I will block if they do that. Drew a land. That is not good. Their attacks with Sakashima are pretty bad because I can just block with Sky Sovereign. I should have held that. Oh, I shouldn't yield all the way because I want to activate. Oh no. Okay. It's pretty bad. Oh, they target. Oh, I just assumed they were going to plus. Yeah, that just kills my thing. Didn't crew. Stupid. I might lose this game now. Alright, give me any gasp. Any spell. Okay, that counts. That absolutely counts. They get an Urza. Target my thing. In response, I will activate it. With. Okay, I can't crew. So I'm dead. Yeah, I really needed to not mess up that that crew last turn. Just playing too fast. Good games. Cool, alright. Well, I got to live a bunch of the dreams that are in my deck. I got to control my opponent's turn. That was cool. Got to do some splashy planeswalker-y stuff. I will admit that this is not generally my preferred type of cube gameplay, but I definitely like this cube more than I like Vintage Cube, I have to say. The games are still swingy, but they're swingy in ways that are interesting and give you decision points, as opposed to being swingy in the sense that sometimes your opponent has a Mox or a Lotus and you just lose. So, yeah, that's my read on this format. I'm glad it's here. I'm hoping to draft it a couple more times before they take it down. And thanks to Daybreak for putting up cool new cubes. Thanks to David McDarby for designing a cool new cube. And thanks to you for watching my cube videos. I will see you next time.